Help! They've kidnapped me. Lady Di, a Modern Fairytale by Slobodan Radojev. Mitrich Part 3 Contra Operation Modern Fairytale Chapter 42 The Chase The chase. Paris Mouse has parked his Ferrari close to the Paris Ritz Hotel. With the engine running, the lights out, he keeps watch together with the USD Marshal. The Marshal holds a walkie-talkie in his hand. A dozen yards away, ready for action, is a motor rider with his cameraman holding a camera with a strong flash. Another dozen yards away sits behind the wheel of a small limo, all unaware of each other. Pino, with beside him the brother of the murdered Francois, holding an unlatched Italian Beretta with a silencer. The detective eyes of the U.S. Marshal see how Henry's Mercedes leaves the parking space before the side door exit. The same is seen by the eyes of the paparazzi in service of MI6 and also by Pino's robber's eyes. The Ferrari driver and the motor rider switch almost at the same time the lights on and instantly begin to follow the Mercedes S280. Immediately afterwards, the four MI6 agents disguised as paparazzi jump on their bikes. In less than a minute, the Ferrari passes the Mercedes and disappears out of Henry's sight. The Marshal presses a button on his walkie-talkie and gets connected. Pierre, we patron, be prepared. Once we enter the tunnel, block the road, we patron. Paris Mouse presses the gas pedal down to the floor. A high-speed motorcycle catches up with the Mercedes S280 and rides next to it. Behind them a car is approaching. Henry looks in his rear-view mirror and notices two masked figures. Despite the darkness, Henry recognizes Pino's car, a Fiat Uno. He freezes and instinctively presses the gas pedal down to the floor. The Mercedes flies like an antelope suddenly attacked by a hungry leopard. "Are you crazy?" his companion yells. Henry points with his head backwards. "Mafia, fasten your seat belts. Since you snort cocaine, you see ghosts everywhere," says his companion. "Fasten them," Henry cries. "Eat shit," the bodyguard of Princess Diana says angrily. He turns around to his proteges. The Arab and Briton bend their heads and quickly fasten their seat belts. The Mercedes is approaching the Alma tunnel. Henry realizes that he cannot shake off the Fiat Uno. He casts a glance to the right and notices that the motorcyclist is cutting him off. The police commissioner parks his car at the junction that leads to a side road near the Alma tunnel and turns his blue police lights on. The Ferrari is approaching the Alma tunnel. Paris Mouse clearly sees the parked police car with the flashing lights. With high speed, the Ferrari passes the car of the chief of the Paris police and presses on his horn. Two, replies Commissioner Pierre. The Ferrari disappears into the tunnel. Why did that fool turn his police lights on so early? Paris Mouse asks himself. Probably so he wouldn't forget it when he blocks the entrance to the tunnel. Lilliputta is nervous. "May God keep us and that all goes well." The police commissioner takes a small cell phone from his pocket and taps number. He hears a voice on the line. "Alpha here. What is it? Turn off all radio transmitters immediately." "Okay, Chief." The communications chief of the intelligence and security services of the city of Paris presses a red button. All police radio stations are silenced. The police commissioner thinks. It was agreed that he would block the entrance to the tunnel with his car, so that the Mercedes S280 would be forced to stop. Pierre would then do a so-called routine check of the driver to see whether he had drunk too much alcohol. Then Paris Mouse's criminals dressed in police uniforms, who are sitting in their cars nearby waiting for a sign to attack, would come to his aid and kidnap the princess. But now the echo of the command of the U.S. Marshal is still reverberating through the head of the Paris police commissioner. "Once we are in the tunnel, you must block the road with your car." The policeman reckons aloud. The marshal said, block the road, and not the tunnel. So the road, I've already cut off. Henry sees at the intersection ahead of him the flashes of a police car. He understands bugger all. Something else was after all agreed to. He realizes that he cannot turn off, and he is also confused by the sudden arrival on the scene of his former favorite, whose best friend, who was not wrong and guilty, he has killed. The head of security of the Ritz Hotel has no choice but to drive into the tunnel. With high speed, the Mercedes passes the parked police car and approaches the tunnel. Only now the commissioner realizes that something has gone dreadfully wrong. He tries to make his voice heard through his special police transmitter, but understands that it is no longer possible. Had he better not instructed to close all police communication? His body breaks out in cold sweat. The Mercedes drives at high speed into the Alma tunnel. The Fiat Uno follows him at a distance of only a few yards. The driver gives gas and quickly catches up with the Mercedes S280 and drives in front of it. The photographer turns around and focuses his camera. He sees the Arab and the princess. Britain stoops forward and hides her face. The photographer clicks. A bright flash blinds Henry. Bingo, the photographer shouts. The motorcyclist understands that his colleague succeeded in snapping the ordered photo. Now no one will doubt that the princess was in the car. The motorcyclist drives on and leaves the Mercedes behind. The four MI6 paparazzi pass the Mercedes and disappear into the depth of the tunnel, blinded by the photo flash. Henry loses control and reduces gas. At the same time, the Fiat Uno catches up with him. Are you ready? Pino screams. I am, his companion yells. Connect. The brother of the late Francois changes via remote control the operating system of the Mercedes, so that the gas pedal becomes the brake and vice versa. Now, Pino presses the gas pedal down to the floor. Henry notices that a masked figure aims a gun at him. Instinctively, he presses on the gas pedal. But instead of the Mercedes moving faster forward, the limo, due to the strong braking action caused by the modification, swaggers and collides against a pillar. All windows break. Glass splinters rain down on the tunnel road. The car bounces back. The rear of the Mercedes hits the tunnel wall and bounces back again until the Mercedes, turned 180 degrees around, comes to standstill on the middle of the road. Henry sees that his companion has collided with his head on the chassis. He feels his pulse and realizes that he is still alive, but unconscious. He turns around. Is everything okay with you? Yeah, Britain and the Arab say in unison. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk.